So, ladies and gentlemen, coming up very shortly, we'll have the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. I'm Paul Nolan, joined here by John Kyle. And very shortly, if you look at the screens outside the arena, we'll be showing you the course designed by the man who designed the World Equestrian Games, Alan Wade. He'd start over that Skelly Oxer on this side of the arena, the Yankee hand side. Sweeping back around.
Good afternoon and welcome to the final day of the 2019 RDS, the Royal Dublin Society Horse Show. We're here for the biggest prize if show jumping Ireland has ever seen, the Longines FEI Jumping Grand Prix, the traditional last major international competition here. It's 540 metres. Alan Wade, the course designer, 17 jumping efforts and 81 seconds the time allowed. 40 competitors representing 11 nations coming forward. Let's have a look at the Alan Wade course. We start with an Oxo 145 by 150, then a right-hand turn, nearly a full circle down to an upright at 155. Then 8 long strides down to a 2-metre wide triple bar. 4 strides to an upright at 1.59 m. Left-handed down to what is another upright at 1.60 m. Then 6 strides down to the big 4.1 metre water. Over the water, slight right-hand kick to an Oxo 153, 140. Then down to the double 8A and B. 150 the upright, 1 stride coming out over an Oxo 150 by 170. Then around to another fence, an upright at 162. On a slight left-hand turn towards the end of the course, we're at the treble combination. 10A, 2 strides to another Oxer in the middle, coming out over a 157 upright. 6 strides down to a 164 upright. Now down to the final line. The 3 fences on the way home to the Grand Prix course. An Oxer at fence 12. Left-handed to another upright over 1.60 m, 163 that measures. 5 or 6 strides down to the Oxer, the fence 14, 17 jumping efforts. The Oxer's 153 by 175. That's the Alan Wade course. 81 seconds the time allowed here at the main arena at the RDS. 146 years of this incredible show here, and to get us off the start list of 40 people, we've got Michael Grieve, first of 4 of the Dutch riders. Greg Broderick for Ireland. Angela von Essen on Form 1 earlier today, and Emily Moffat, what form she is in for Great Britain. Mickey Pender there, 19 years old. Willem Grieve, one of the hopes for the Netherlands. Emily Bicocci for Italy. Captain Brian Canat, Anthony Condon on for Matthew Billow, also been in the money. Amanda Derbyshire with Cornwall. Darren Kenny. McLean Ward with his World Cup winning Double H Azure. Mark McCauley, he's the leading rider so far. Ben Mayer on the horse who ran 2 clear rounds at Hickston 2 weeks ago in the Nations Cup. And then down to Bertram Allen with a wonderful Molly Malone, and Scott Brash, former world #1 with Hello Jefferson, is the last of the 40 competitors. And that combination of Scott Brash and Hello Jefferson, who jumped to double clear in the Nations Cup on Friday, part of that victorious Great Britain team. But today, it's not about teams, it's about individuals today. 350,000 euros the prize fund, the richest show jumping competition ever seen in the Emerald Isle. The last day of the 146th Royal Dublin Society Horse Show, the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. First of 2 rounds. Clears, of course, go through to a short timed jump off. And what an incredible week it's been to get us underway. One of 4 riders for the Netherlands, Michael Grieve, with the 10-year-old stallion Turbo Z. And whilst we watch Michael get us underway, let's just look back at some of the winners of this Longines International Grand Prix. You look like it was Iris Kellett, Harvey Smith, the Honourable Diana Connolly Carew, George Morris for the United States, won it in 1958. The Dinzeo brothers, they both won it in 1960. Then more recently, Jessica Curtin, my colleague at FEI TV, won it in 2008. And And then last year, the youngest winner ever, Kevin Jochems. He's not here to defend his title. He sprained some ligaments in his shoulder with a fall a couple of days ago. But we're watching rider number 1, Michael Gree, with Turbo Z, the first of the 40 competitors in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Alan Wade building in the main arena here at Dublin for his 9th year. Like a good start, 81 seconds, the time allowed. We'll see what... Oh, well, I spoke too soon. 10-year-old Turbo Z, this Zangazada bred stallion. Well, we know all the fences can be jumped.
What a shame.
So, well, he jumped all the fences, about a disagreement at the number 12, the white oxer there, so that's 8 faults at all, including the time penalties that are incurred for that turn away. So Michael Grieve, Turbo Z, first of the 40 competitors, 8 faults on the board.
We're joined now by Ortho Gustavo da Silva, Staff and Verhoff for Switzerland. He was born in Brazil, but has been riding for Switzerland since 2010.
Now we go to Switzerland for Arthur Gustavo da Silva, riding in and stop Van der Voorhoff. Arthur, who was born in Brazil, based in Belgium. Switch to ride for Switzerland in 2002. Meters the water. Through the combination. 6 strides down to that big upright of 164. Now the last line. Coming in on 4. And completes on 4, just looking at the time, just finished about half a second inside the 81 seconds time allowed. So 4 faults for Arthur Gustavo da Silva. In and stop Van der Voorhoff, 11-year-old stallion. Belgian warm blood.
4 faults in the first round for Arthur Gustavo.
In the arena now for the Netherlands, this is Jens van Grunsven. He goes with the 12-year-old Sika. Van Grunsven, Jens, and nephew of the very successful dressage Olympian Ankie van Grunsven.
Now we go back to the Netherlands. 24-year-old Jens van Grunsven with Sika. 12-year-old mare.
Jens van Grunsven from the Netherlands.
Jens van Grunsven, if the name rings a bell. Nephew of the former Olympic champion, multi-Olympic champion, Ankie van Grunsven in the sport of dressage. He also took part of the World Equestrian Games in the sport of reining as well, back in Kentucky in 2010. But let's have a look at 24-year-old Jens van Grunsven with Sika, also on which he's been competing successfully in the Nations Cup series. Culmination of the qualifiers, that was close at the water. Culmination of the Nations Cup qualifiers finished here on Friday. on 8 faults. Not going to make that 81 seconds of time, so gets a couple of time penalties. One time penalty, 13 faults in all. 12 jumping, one time penalty, 13 faults in all for Jens van Grunsen and Sika for the Netherlands.
Well, the Netherlands have won this Grand Prix 3 times in all. Last year, Kevin Jochens from the Netherlands won here. We're now joined by another rider from Team Orange. This is Gerco Schroeder, who goes with Davino Q. Gerco, rider here 5 times in the Netherlands.
Well, we stay with the Netherlands. Just had a young rider medalist. We now move to a man from the same country who's multi-medalled at senior level. Olympic individual gold. Olympic individual silver. 2 team golds from World Equestrian Games. Gerco Schroeder with Davino Q. Raced a couple of times this week on other horses. Liverpool underneath that 160 upright. Interesting. Looking at the clock, that's 14 in total. 2 time penalties, 14 in all for Gerco Schroeder, Davino Q for the Netherlands.
12 jumping faults, 2 for time as well, 85.80. He's a double Olympic silver medalist. It's been a pleasure having him, ladies and gentlemen. The last time we'll see him, unfortunately, Gerco Schroeder, Davino Q.
So Gerco Schroeder, 4th of the 14 competitors to go, finishes on 14 faults, picking up a couple of time penalties. So it looks like this 81 seconds time allowed set round this Alan Wade course is not going to be an easy ride. A bit of pressure that adds. Although, of course, Davino Q is naturally not the quickest of horses, but let's have a look. We now move to world ranked 121 for Egypt, Sami El Dahan with Sumers Zorro. Sumers Zorro now 15. Sami El Dahan, who's partnered this horse at the previous 2 Longines FEI World Equestrian Games. Stretched. Cutting some corners now, knows that the time is tight, pays a penalty for that. Well, he had to go for the time. He is just about 1.5 seconds inside the time. That final turn caused a 1 fence down, so 4 faults for Sami El Dahan and Sumers Zorro for Egypt.
Sami El Dahan of Egypt, ladies and gentlemen.
And the lady who competed in the Land Rover Frissons last night joins us now. This is Barbara Schneiper for Switzerland.
Now for Switzerland,
With Cicero F.
Barbara Schneiper with Cicero F. Barbara, who finished third in one of the young horse classes in here earlier this afternoon. Well, that was going wrong from the entrance to the combination, but all looks good and well. We're just going to check that Cicero's in fine form, and I expect she'll retire. Just going to pop a fence on the way out of the arena. Great to see them in good shape. So Barbara Schneiper and Cicero F for Switzerland, they retire.
For Gerke Schroeder and Davino Q, it is in fact 8 jumping in 2 time, a total of 10 for the Dutch Olympian.
Well, our next competitor in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, representing Ireland, this is 20-year-old Susan Fitzpatrick from Keeningstown House in County Kenny.
There's been an alteration to the score for Gerke Schroeder. Slightly irrelevant because its clears go through the dump, but it originally gave us 14 penalties. In actual fact, it is 10. So Gerke Schroeder, Davina Q, 10 penalties, not 14. Correction to the score for Gerke Schroeder for the Netherlands.
€350,000 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland with fellow Castle.
Now one of 3 9-year-olds in this field, the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, Susan Fitzpatrick, riding fellow Castlefield. Super round so far from this 9-year-old. Nicely back for that 164 upright. Now the last line. Watch the clock, 81 seconds time allowed. It's playing a part, 10 seconds to get home. This is looking very good indeed for Ireland. Anna stops the clock with a second in hand, or 1.5 seconds in hand, and that is a super clear. That's clear for Susan Fitzpatrick and the 9-year-old fellow Castlefield. 7 of the 40 riders gone, and that's our first clear. It's for Ireland. It's caused a cheer here in the main arena at the RDS. Susan Fitzpatrick, fellow Castlefield, through to the jump-off.
Well, what a fantastic occasion this is turning out to be, the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. A great performance there from Susan Fitzpatrick as we welcome in our next competitor. It's the Olympian from Mexico, Jose Antonio Shadwaya Gaya. He goes with Nin Lube, also member of silver medal winning team at the Pan American Games. Jose already a winner in the international division this week.
We now go to Mexico.
Young horse classes.
Jose Antonio Chedre Eguia riding the 13-year-old gelding Ninlube. Combination who took part in the Mexican Nations Cup team on Friday. Jumped a great clear in a 4, 2 good rounds for Mexico on Ninlube. Also won one of the young horse, the 8-year-old qualifiers earlier in the week. Mexico, who fielded a team here for the Nations Cup here in Dublin, also simultaneously had a team at the Pan American Games in Peru a couple of days earlier, where they managed to get their qualification for the Olympic Games. First time we've seen the middle part go down. First part of the double, I should say. Two fences down, one-time penalty for Jose Antonio Chedre Eguia with Ninlube for Mexico. 10-0.
But he has been a winner this week, taking a win in one of the young horse classes. Let's give him another round of applause. One of our Mexican riders here at Dublin 2019.
So, representing Mexico, Jose Antonio, as mentioned, won one of the 8-year-old qualifiers here on the young horse qualifiers. Back to Ireland. Greg Broderick with the 12-year-old Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin S. So this combination to good effect at the international show in Balmoral last May when they won the Grand Prix there. Greg Broderick for Ireland.
.160, 155, that upright. 2 metre wide triple bar. 4 strides down to a 159 upright. This is 160. Lovely jump over the water. Just too much of a rub on the last part of the combination. Well, a good round. 1 fence down, 1-time penalty, 5 in total for Greg Broderick and Charlie Chaplin S for Ireland.
A total of 5. He's been on winning Aggie Khan teams here in Dublin before, ladies and gentlemen. Send him away with your applause. Greg Broderick.
The 10-horse rider combination in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Joining us now for Sweden, it's Angeli Von Essen. She goes with Daniel. Angeli, a member of the Swedish Nation Cup teams in recent weeks.
Now for Sweden, a winner just about 90 minutes ago in this main arena here at the Royal Dublin Society Horse Show, Angela Von Essen. with Daniel. He had a great week. He's had a second, and as mentioned, one earlier in the Longines FEI Nations Cup team on Friday, riding Lucan. Best of the quartet from Sweden. Weren't able to maintain their winning run in the Europe Division 1 qualifiers, but she had 2 rounds of 4 faults, having jumped a double clear at Hickstead in the Nations Cup there a couple of weeks ago. That's not going to make the water. Kept going though. Did well to keep her momentum going after the water. So a foot in the water, a couple of fences down, one-time penalty, 13 in all, 13 faults for Angela von Essen and Daniel for Sweden. 10 of the 40 competitors gone, just the one clear. That is Susan Fitzpatrick with fellow Castlefield at the moment. And out of the 10 competitors, 5 have accumulated time penalties, being outside the 81 seconds time allowed of this Alan Wade course. Now the 21-year-old rookie for Great Britain, who came here to represent her country at her first ever 5-star international debut in a team, and jumped a superb double clear in the Nations Cup. Formerly rode for the US, switched to British nationality 3 years ago, and what a show she's been having. Emily Moffat riding Tipsy du Terrell. Foot in the water again. Just a couple of years ago when Emily was on the gold medal winning young rider British team. And what a debut she has had this week in the Nations Cup for Great Britain. Finished on 12 faults here in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland.
She did jump double clear for her country though on Friday afternoon.
Emily Moffat, Tipsy du Terrell, 12 faults.
Emily Moffat, ladies and gentlemen, of Great Britain.
As we welcome in the man from Turin, it's Massimo Grossato riding in the uniform of the Carabinieri. He goes with Zara Doniciava.
Now for Italy. Massimo Grossato riding the 10-year-old gelding Lazzaro del Schiev. Rides in the uniform of the Carabinieri in Italy. On this horse, helped Italy finish in second place behind Great Britain in the Nations Cup on Friday. A clear and a 4. perfect. Brilliantly judged down that line. Now down to 3 from home. Still clear for Italy. Watch the clock. He's not going to make that 81 seconds. He's going to jump clear, but he's just over the time. He picks up a time penalty. That is a superb round. They have jumped brilliantly this week. So one time penalty for Massimo Grossato, Lazzaro Del Schiav for Italy. They've had a super week here. It was brilliant in the Nations Cup, these two athletes. And now jumps clear, picks up a time fault, doesn't make the jump off, but that's a great round from Massimo Grossato, Lazzaro Del Schiav for Italy.
Marcus Vestergren joins us now with the 10-year-old Swedish warm-blood gelding Helmer, owned by MV Collection. This is Marcus Vestergren, Helmer.
Back to Sweden. One of 2 Swedish riders in the Longines International Grand Prix. Marcus Vestergren with Kalmir. Marcus, who's been in the money in a couple of classes with his horses here this week. Really having to keep the pressure on the time. One of the advantages of not going early in the class, being able to see some of the rounds. The riders will be well aware of Massimo Grossato's great round. Bit of pressure piling on them with that 81 seconds.
Front ran off the last as well for a total of 12 jumping faults in 81 seconds exactly for Marcus Vestergren, the Swedish national champion, with Kalmir.
3 down, 12 faults for Marcus Vestergren and Kalmir. And rather interestingly finished on 81 seconds exactly. Well, riding here at the RDS from the ages of a very young child, all these Irish riders dream about coming here year after year. We've got 14 representing our hosts here in Dublin in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. One of those already clear being Susan Fitzpatrick with fellow Castlefield, and now the turn of Cormac Hanley with VDL Cartello. 12-year-old Holstein-bred stallion. Cormac is 22 years old. Medalist in juniors for Ireland. Rub coming out, but okay. And again, still clear. Well, the last two fences down, plus a time penalty. 9 in all, 9 faults for Cormac Hanley and VDL Cartello.
One for time, it's a total of 9. Nations Cup hero, though, in Vancouver, British Columbia this summer, Cormac Hanley, ladies and gentlemen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, just one clear round to date, and that is for Ireland. Susan Fitzpatrick, she's trained by Dennis Connolly. She's here at 79.53. A fantastic performance from the 20-year-old. As we move on to competitor number 15 on your start list, representing Belgium.
Now for Belgium, named Talent of the Year in 2019 by the Belgian Federation, Peter Clemens with Quidam. So, 4 faults at the first. Repeats that at the second. He's going to retire.
Notwithstanding what to do this big class on the final day of the Skyline Dublin Horse Show, Peter Clemens elects to retire.
So Peter Clemens for Belgium retires with Quidam.
Give him another round of applause as he heads away. We'll see him here again in the very near future.
Our next competitor in the richest ever international Grand Prix held in Ireland, the €350,000 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland for Ireland. It's Mikey Pender, age 19. Won the Hickstead Derby in his very first attempt. Today he goes with HHS Burnchurch. Already a winner of the Grand Prix in Cologne in Spain, and he won the International Grand Prix in Mullingar. For Ireland, Mikey Pender with Miguel Bravo's HHS Burnchurch.
Well, we stay with Ireland. Mikey Pender with HHS Burnchurch, one of the 3 9-year-olds. Total age of Mikey Pender and his equine athlete, just 28 years old. Mikey Pender, of course, winner of the Hickstead Derby, youngest ever winner. That was a couple of weeks ago, and already in the top 150 in the Longines World Rankings. Mikey Pender for Ireland. Double HS Burnchurch. Spent much of his time with Marion Hughes in Dubai, Middle East. Right, the man from Kildare is still clear. This could be popular. We have just one clear so far, and that is Susan Fitzpatrick for Ireland. Will this be another one? I don't think he's going to make that. 81 seconds. No, he's not. He's clear. Jumping. That is a time penalty. Well, the clock is seriously playing a part here, because that was a super round by Mikey Pender. HHS Burnchurch with 1 time penalty. Clear jumping, 1 time penalty. Lovely jump there. Look at that. Good shot.
Also a member of that prestigious Young Riders Academy. Coming very close, ladies and gentlemen. Mikey Pender.
In the arena now for the Netherlands. This is Willem Greve. He goes with Zyperia S. 12-year-old Holsteiner.
Now for the Netherlands, Willem Greve with Zyperia S. Willem Greve, who's brought his lovely young 8-year-old here, Go-Go. Finished 6th in the qualifier, 5th in the final on Go-Go. Was in the Nations Cup team for the Netherlands at Geerstrin. Team finished 2nd. Oh. Well. So well until the last part of the combination. One down, one-time penalty for Willengrave and Cypria S for the Netherlands.
81.96 on the clock means it's 5 in all there for Willengrave and Cypria, a combination that went so well in Maastricht in the winter time. The Nations Cup rider here on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, Dutchman Willengrave.
And that just shows you that we've got just one clear. We have had 17 of the 40 expected competitors, and the only clear we have to date is Susan Fitzpatrick winning, one of only 3 9-year-olds in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, fellow Castlefield. 2-on-1 time penalty, so Mikey Pender, quickest of the 2 one-time penalties, in second place at the moment, and Massimo Grassato for Italy in third place. They're the 2 one-time penalties, but just one clear. Susan Fitzpatrick at the moment. Now for Italy, Emilio Bicocci, riding Avita SG, Sangazard bred. Emilio Bicocci, been on the senior teams several times, been in the Nations Cup team, went up to the Nations Cup team here on Friday. 2 good rounds, just 1 fence down in each round. Avita naturally quick, so this 81 seconds shouldn't trouble these 2. Very, very close. Oh. Well, coming in on 4. Comes over the last. He is indeed inside that time and kept a very quick time. It's the quickest time we've had so far in 78.23, but the 1 fence down, so 4 faults for Emilio Bicocci and Avita SG for Italy.
Twice at World Championships and very well placed in Grand Prix just like this right around the world. Emilio Bicocci.
So we've had 18 competitors in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, just 1 clear round today from Susan Fitzpatrick, fellow Castlefield for Ireland, another Irish rider in the arena now. This is Richard Halley, who's also featured in the Land Rover Free Songs. This time he goes with the 12-year-old Kigarikian Geraldine Chinook. For Ireland, it's Richard Halley.
Back to Ireland, ranked 123rd in the Longines World Rankings. Richard Howley with the 12-year-old gelding Chinook. Represented Ireland through the ponies, juniors, young riders. You can just tell everybody's now keeping the pace going all the way around this Alan Wade course. Know that 81 seconds is difficult to achieve. Perfect. Quick to make that turn. Now the last line. 2 to go. It looks like we could be having a jump off. He flies the last, a very quick time, and that is our second clear. That is clear for Richard Howley and Chinook for Ireland. So 19 of the 40 competitors gone here in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. We have 2 clears, both for Ireland, Susan Fitzpatrick and Richard Howley.
Well, Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. This is shaping up to be Susan Fitzpatrick here for Ireland.
So we have some huge names, both with riders and great equine athletes to come, but we've had 2 clears from the first 19, both representing Ireland. So already we're in these crowds here, in for a lot of excitement this afternoon, for this the culmination of a great week here at the Royal Dublin Society Horse Show. 350,000 euros, the prize fund for the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, the richest prize ever in any show jumping competition in Ireland. For Ireland we stay, Captain Brian Conan with Armick. Still clear. Is he going quick enough? Because that's what's really playing out here. The crowd's right behind him. Last 2 have gone. Perfectly timed round, but 2 fences down. So 2 fences down, 8 faults for Captain Brian Conan and Armick for Ireland. Halfway in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, just the 2 clears so far. Susan Fitzpatrick with fellow Castlefield and Richard Howley and Chinook. 20 riders to come in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. When you look down at some of the riders to come, Laura Crown from the United States, world #1 Steve Goddard, Birch Mallon with the wonderful Molly Malone, Shane Breen, Scott Brash, McLean Ward with Double H's here. Big names to come in the next 20. And this man in the money a couple of times this week already, Anthony Condon with SFS Aristio. These 2 have been in great form on the teams from Ireland. They look like touching a pole at the moment. 13-year-old stallion by Arco. Oh. Well, again, a perfectly timed round, but that 1 fence down. So 4 faults for Anthony Condon and SFS Aristio.
With the top 3 finished, though, earlier on today in the Speed Championships, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Condon.
Well, Italy last won this Grand Prix in Dublin in 2016 when Lorenzo De Luca was the champion. Joined now by another rider from Italy. This is Giorgio Prix. He's based in the Netherlands, but represents Italy. Who's Riandria, or Italy is Giorgio Prix.
For Italy, Giorgio Bucci. with Triandria. Well, not the round that we've seen this combination of two athletes in the past, and a retirement. Giorgio Bucci, Triandria not quite in form today, retire here in Dublin.
So we have to go back to 1995 for our last winner from France. We're joined now by Mathieu Bio, who goes with Helfino. Mathieu, a big winner in this arena last night.
Now the winners, well, the winner rider from the Puissance last night for France, Mathieu Billot with Quel Filou. The Puissance already also in the money before that with one of the younger horses. France last took the Grand Prix of Ireland back in 1995. Patrice Delaveau. Judge is happy with the water. Still clear, but not naturally. Oh, well, okay, irrelevant. I was going to say not naturally that quick. And picks up a time penalty. So 5 in all. 5 faults for Mathieu Billot for France with Quel Filou. Winners from the Puissance last night here in the main arena. Comfortable mix with the poles. With the 1.60 m upright after the combination.
As we welcome in the 8th mandate now, Zari for Switzerland. So again, team silver medalists at the Olympic Games. The 8th mandate goes for Switzerland.
Now for Switzerland, former Olympic team silver medalist and as an individual winner of the 2007 Longines FEI World Cup final with his wonderful Idiot du Todd. Beat Manley for Switzerland with the 11-year-old mare Seri. Perfectly timed, but a foot in the water, so 4 faults for Beat Manley and Zeri for Switzerland.
Far from his first visit to Dublin, and we very much hope it won't be his last. Beat Manley, ladies and gentlemen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most experienced members of the Swiss squad leaves the arena. An up-and-coming star of Swiss show jumping, 22-year-old Brian Balsinger joins us now.
Well, as the wind starts to get up here, we're halfway through, we're just over halfway through the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Just the 2 clears so far. Susan Fitzpatrick with the 9-year-old fellow Castlefield, and Richard Howley with Chinook. Now we go on to competitor number 25 of the 40 coming forward. Brian Balsinger, 22 years old, riding for Switzerland on the 10-year-old mare, Axe Courage. Been in the money a couple of times this week. This 22-year-old. The winning team for Switzerland in La Boule, the first of the 7 Euro Division 1 qualifiers for the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup. Individual gold medalist, European Championship, Young Rider European Championships a couple of years ago. One of the serious young stars for Switzerland. Keeping the pressure up because of the time. Middle part comes down to the combination. Big prize fund of 350,000 euros, so a quick 4 faults will probably will be in the money. And that puts it, Brian Balsinger, into 6th place with a 4 faults of 79.04. So 6th place goes Brian Balsinger on 4 faults with Axe Courage for Switzerland.
22 years old, jumping for his Nations Cup team on Friday. Brian Balsinger.
So next to jump, the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. 350,000 euro cut off for grants here today for Italy. This is the veterinary surgeon from Parma, 49-year-old Paolo Panini. He goes with Atava Maraviglia di Cancigi.
Now for Italy, Paolo Panini with Ottava Meraviglia di Cansan. Well, what a fantastic combination these two have been for the Italian Nations Cup team. Double clear in St. Gallen, double clear in Falsterbo. Picked up a couple of time faults though, one in each of the 2 rounds in Falsterbo, but jumped absolutely clear. So jumping the fences, no problem. Will the clock be a problem for Paolo Panini? Team that finished 2nd on Friday in the Nations Cup. Italy who've earned their place at the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup final in Barcelona. That comes after the European Championships just in a couple of weeks' time. In fact, in a couple of weeks' time will be nearly over. Now, time was an issue in Falsterbo for these two. Gets round that corner as tight as he possibly can. Well, he's not going to make it. It's going to play a part here. It jumps another clear, but there's 2 time penalties.
85.42 on the clock.
So 85.42, 81 seconds the time allowed. Picks up 2 time penalties. Paolo Panini, Ottava Meraviglia di Cansan.
Well, it is the 350,000 euro Longines International Grand Prix. We have riders from many nations, but at the moment, it's Kilkenny versus Sligo in the jump-off. And Susan Fitzpatrick for Ireland versus Richard Howley. They're the only 2 clear rounds as we welcome into the arena for Great Britain Amanda Derbyshire, a member of the Great Britain World Equestrian Games team last year. She goes to Cornwall BA.
now to Great Britain. Amanda Derbyshire with Cornwall BH. To look back to 1999, last time a British rider won the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. John Whittaker, it was then, 20 years ago. Amanda Derbyshire now in the world's top 50. Looked close to the tape, the judge is pretty happy down there with the water. Great to see Amanda Derbyshire jumping brilliantly after her crash at Hickstead. Got away with a rub. Tight round the turn. Has to cut every possible corner on this Allen Wade track. Oh, again, that last part, chasing down the combination. Into 15th place on 5 penalties, 1 fence down, 1 time penalty for Amanda Derbyshire and Cornwall BH for Great Britain.
US-based British rider Amanda Derbyshire.
So next to go for Ireland.
Well, including Amanda Derbyshire's 14 to go in this competition and all the last 14 in the top 50 of the Longines FEI World Rankings. Star-studded list of riders here for the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix. 40 riders, 11 nations, 2 clears so far, both for Ireland in the jump-off. 13 to come. Dara Kenny, world number 16, riding Babalu. Oh, that's not going to be Dara Kenny in the jump-off. First fence down. Water as well. How easy did it look coming down that combination? 14-year-old Babalu.
The first and the last one, the middle is right.
12 faults in total for Dara Kenny. Babalu, foot in the water, first fence down, couple of fences down. That's the first. Just the back of the shoe on the tape of the water.
It's world ranked number 5 rider. This is McLean Ward from the United States of America. Won the Grand Prix here in 2010.
One of 3 winners of the Longines International Grand Prix here in Dublin in this class. McLean Ward for the United States with double H Azure. Oh, what a treat for the equestrian spectators here at Dublin to see WH Azure here, winners of the 2017 World Cup final, Longines FEI World Cup final in Omaha. A year later they finished just off the podium in 4th place in Paris, and they picked up a team silver at the Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games. McLean Ward with the wonderful double H Azure. McLean Ward, who's had a super week, been on the podium 3 times in different classes throughout the week. H. 13 years old, this man. There's a big rub there. Still clear. And too many rubs, didn't get away with it. Well, he had that last part of the combination down, but that time very quick indeed. Puts him into 6th place on that 4 faults in 78 seconds. So 4 faults for McLean Ward, double H's year for the United States, into 6th place.
To instead come to us here in Dublin. Thank you so much for coming, McLean. It's been great to have you.
In the arena now, the man from Ireland.
The temperature certainly has dropped here as everybody getting wrapped up. And what a show this man is having coming into the final day today, Sunday, at the Royal Dublin Society Horse Show. Mark McCauley, leading rider so far with 3 wins under his belt. Also 3 other places. Mark McCauley for Ireland with Valentino Tullier. Oh, look close. The judge is walking over to the water. Mark McCauley, what a week. What a week he's been having. The judge at the water has gone behind a tree, so I actually cannot see what she's doing. They're bending down. Oh, irrelevant now, because the fence down. You can see Mark is seriously keeping up the pace. He's on. Mark McCauley retires, but what a superb week as Mark McCauley from Ireland had, ranked 41 in the world. I'm going to predict that he will finish this week being leading rider, but that's just a prediction. He certainly was leading rider coming into today, the final day. We've now have 10 left to go here in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland at Dublin. Just 2 clears so far, both representing our hosts here at the RDS. Susan Fitzpatrick with the 9-year-old fellow Castlefield, and Richard Howley with Chinook. Just the 2 clears from the first 30 competitors. 10 more to come, big names in that 10. And now another one for Ireland. One of the squad that will be going to the Longines FEI European Championships in a couple of weeks' time, Paul O'Shea with Emerald van de Voorhoof. Winner earlier on in the week, jumped a double clear on Scar against Richie Pichu in the Nations Cup on Friday. Paul O'Shea completes in 18th place with 8 penalties on Immerald van der Voorhof.
They did win our feature class on day 1 of the show, the Sport Ireland Classic, and another one heading to Rotterdam, ladies and gentlemen, Paul O'Shea.
In the arena now, London Olympic team gold medalist Ben Maher, and a member of the British team that won the Longines FEI Champion Nations Cup of Ireland.
Now for Great Britain, former gold medalists for Great Britain, both in European Championships and the Olympic Games. And more recently, double clear at Hickston, these two athletes in the Nations Cup. Ben Maher with Tic Tac. And on the team that won on Friday, Ben Maher, former world #1. Very proud to be wonderful images of Ben Maher holding the Aga Khan Trophy on the podium. Very proud to be doing so for Great Britain. Absolutely no trouble at all coming through the combination. Now the last line. He's kept the pace up all the time. 10 seconds to get home, still clear. Ben Maher for Great Britain with Tic Tac, just the last. Will he make it clear, number 3? Yes, he will. 3/4 of a second inside the time. A perfectly judged round from the former world #1, the former Olympic team champion. Ben Maher with Tic Tac makes it clear, number 3 here in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. So Ben Maher joined Susan Fitzpatrick and Richard Howley in the jump-off. 8 competitors still to come. 3 clears so far, 2 for Ireland, 1 for Great Britain. Now we go to United States of America. Laura Kraut riding the 10-year-old mare Florette. United States won this trophy back in 2015. That was Kent Farrington. 4 years before that, Lauren Hoff. 2011. Big jump in, no, stood off a long way of that. This is a young horse, 10 years old. Royal Clout completes on 13 penalties. And that was came in a bit skewed at the first part of the combination. Sensibly went back, but that is showing you that we just have 3 clears so far, 7 competitors still to come. 2 Irish, 1 for Great Britain. And the quickest of the one-time penalties in fourth, Mikey Pender. And then in fifth place at the moment, Massimo Grossato. Those were the two competitors with one-time penalty in fourth and fifth at the moment. 350,000 prize purse, richest prize in Ireland for a jumping competition. Now for Ireland, Dennis Lynch, world number 43 in the global rankings, with GC's Chopin's Bushy. Well, he's had a great time with his 7-year-old. He won the qualifier, won the final. He also was second and ninth in other classes. He's had a very good show indeed, Dennis Lynch. Well, we're not going to get our 25% in the jump off. Clears. Coming in on 4. Into 7th place, a very quick time, but the one fence down. So Dennis Lynch and GC Chopin's Bushy, 4 faults into 7th place.
GC Chopin's Bushy and Irish Championship medalist Dennis Lynch.
In the arena now, competing in the uniform of the Italian Air Force, it is Lorenzo De Luca. He goes with Dinky Toy, the Cronenberg. Lorenzo, no stranger to us here in Dublin, former winner of the Grand Prix back in 2016. He's also former winner of the Grand Prix Nations show in Rome.
Now the leading rider for Italy in the world rankings, number 19 in those rankings, Lorenzo De Luca for Italy, with Dinky Toy van Cronenberg. Final, dreamed to clear in a 4 faults for 2nd place in the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup team event on Friday. Lorenzo, who's keen on his football, will be well aware that the Premier League Championship of Ireland is taking place as we speak. Safely through the combination, keeping the pressure on, chasing that time. A time that's played a huge part in this Grand Prix. Five seconds. It could do it. He's done it. He stops the clock with basically a second in hand. That's clear number 4. Lorenzo De Luca, the number 1 Italian rider in the world. He looked up to the clock to check that he was inside that time. That is clear number 4. Lorenzo De Luca, Dinky Toy van Cronenberg for Italy. Clear number 4. Great shot as he did his flat jockey impression, gallop jockey impression, going across to break the beam with just under a second in hand. Well-timed round for Lorenzo De Luca. Now to the world number 1 for Switzerland, Steve Gerrard with Vinard de Cerisi. won so many medals in his awesome career. Been #1 in the rankings for the last 7 or 8 months. Not the first time he's been on top of the world. Looking for his first win here at the Royal Dublin Society Show this year. Been on the podium a couple of times. French-bred gelding, Vinard de Sarisi. Chases the 6 down to that upright. 10 seconds to get home. Will this be a clear for Switzerland? Will this be a clear for the world #1? He's got to negotiate the last. What is the clock going to stop at? He stops at 79.8 seconds. That is a clear for Switzerland. The world #1 goes into the second round here of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Steve Gerrard, Vinard de Sarisi into the jump-off.
In the arena now for Ireland. Bertram Allen, he goes with Molly Malone. Former winner of the International Grand Prix.
Well, always a treat to see these two. A special treat for this crowd here in Dublin. Bertram Allen with his wonderful partner, now 15, Molly Malone, on the Grand Prix 2014. Played such a significant part in the transition from young riders to seniors for Bertram Allen. Hard to believe that Bertram's still just 24. Seen him at European Championships, World Cup finals, third on Molly Malone 4 years ago, the World Cup final in Las Vegas. Just 21 years old. Not their afternoon here, though, for the world #24 in the rankings. Good old Molly. Now, he might just decide to give it best. There's one thing for sure, that combination of athletes have nothing to prove, so that's retirement for Bertram Allen, for Ireland, with the wonderful Molly Malone. 3 to go. 5 clears so far. Still to come, Shane Sweetnam, Shane Breen and Scott Brash.
Still in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. 2 through to the jump off for Ireland, along with Ben Mayer for Great Britain, Dennis Lynch, direction Renzo De Luca for Italy, and Steve Gerrard for Switzerland. Great Britain, Italy, Switzerland and Ireland in the jump off. Next to go for Ireland, this is Team Ireland member Shane Sweetnam. He goes with Kirschwasser SCF, a member of the Irish team that placed second in the Florida Nations Cup in February, and he was fourth in the Grand Prix of the 4-star show and trial in North Carolina in June. Shane Sweetnam for Ireland.
For Ireland, Shane Sweetnam with Kirschwasser, SCF, one of the 3 9-year-olds in this competition. There's 5 clears today, 3 riders still to come, including Shane Sweetnam. So 2 riders still to come. The two last possible clears. And the last. So unfortunately the last fence down to that 8 faults for Shane Sweetnam with the 9-year-old Kirschwasser for Ireland.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd love you to give a round of applause, not just for Shane's owners and breeders, but for all of the owners and breeders behind that sport.
In the arena now, the penultimate combination of the opening round of the €350,000 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland for Ireland. This is Shane Breen.
So 2 left to jump in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Clears so far: Susan Fitzpatrick and Richard Howley for Ireland, Ben Mayer for Great Britain, Lorenzo De Luca for Italy, and Steve Gerdat, world #1 for Switzerland. Now in the arena, preparing to jump, a man who has been in flying form this week, Shane Breen, with Ipswich van der Bulsacker, been placed in no less than 4 classes. Shane Breen. Brilliantly judged. Crowd showing their appreciation of his riding. Van still clear. Couple of rubs. Still no penalties. Really keeping the pace up, which he's got to do to chase this 81 seconds time allowed. 10 seconds to get home. He should be absolutely fine. He just got the oxen to negotiate. Will this be Ireland 3 of the jump off? Yes, it will. Look at the time. Well, that's clear. Well inside the time allowed. That's clear #6, clear #3 for Ireland, clear for Shane Breen and Ipswich van der Bulsacker. So Ireland go into the jump off with 3 of the 6 clears so far. Just 1 competitor to come for Great Britain, and there he is, former world #1, Olympic gold medal winner from London 2012. Scott Brash for Great Britain with Hello Jefferson. And what a great couple of clears they jumped for Great Britain in the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup on Friday to help the team be in that top position on the podium. Last man to go, 33 in the world, formerly #1, climbing back up the rankings. Scott Brash, Hello Jefferson, Great Britain. Jumping brilliantly. Hop on a skid. trouble down the combination. A rub, 1.60 m, still there. Look at this superb round. He jumps over the last, he stops the clock with a 2 3/4 in hand, and that is another clear. And that's the 40 competitors have gone. Clear for Scott Brash, and Hello Jefferson for Great Britain makes that 7 clears in total here in the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland.
Top-class action here in the opening round of the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. We've seen it all week. It doesn't happen by chance. We're so fortunate to have in Ireland one of the world's leading course designers. He designed the course of the World Equestrian Games in Tryon.
So let's go through the competitors in the jump-off. Susan Fitzpatrick with fellow Castlefield will be first in the arena with the 9-year-old. Richard Howley also for Ireland on Chinook. Then Ben Maher for Great Britain with Tic Tac, followed by the leading Italian rider in the world, Lorenzo De Luca with Dinky Toy van der Kranenburg. And then Steve Gerdat, the world #1 with world #1 Steve Gerdat with Venard de Cerisi, and then Shane Breen with Ipswich van der Bulsaka, and Scott Brash with Hello Jefferson. That's the 7 in the jump-off here in Dublin.
Italy, Dinky Toy, Kranenburg, world's #1 rider, Steve Gerdat, Venard de Cerisi, Ireland's Shane Breen with Ipswich van der Bulsaka, and Scott Brash. Makes it 2 for Great Britain in the jump-off. He will be in the last slot, the most advantageous slot, with Hello Jefferson to take on that track designed by Alan Wade, to decide the destiny of the €350,000 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, the richest ever Grand Prix ever held here. And of course, the winner will receive the...
We'll be back in a few moments' time with the jump-off of the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Stay with us, 7 in the jump-off here in Dublin.
Official timekeeper of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup Series for their fantastic support of the Stena Line Dublin Horse Show. Longines' passion for equestrian world dates back to 1869. Today the brand is involved in the most important equestrian events all over the world. The official watch here in Dublin is a new model from the iconic Hydro Conquest collection, by technical excellence and traditional elegance of distinguishing hallmarks of the brand. Following the jump-off from the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, here in the main arena, we'll have the prize-giving ceremony and also the presentation of the leading international athletes and leading Irish athlete awards. And there's plenty more after that. Samuel Steele will be along to take you through the excitement that is the team chase. Very generously sponsored by Diageo. That's the Diageo team chase coming up here in the main arena on the final day of the Stena Line Dublin Horse Show. Getting underway at 6 o'clock this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the large screens at either end of the arena, we will show you a graphic now of the jump-off track designed by Alan Wade. And you can see here, we'll start back in over fence number 9, that's the Poolbeg Lighthouse fence, and then straight down to a new fence, the 1916 Oxer, there just across to the left of us, as they swing back around to fence number 16, that's fence 2 reverse, Longines vertical, just in front of the judges' box. And then it's back around from that to the first part of the double as it is now, Oxer in, vertical out on that tricky line, 5 forward or 6 shorts down to Glentalough. And then they swing back around in front of the grandstand to take on fence 12, Celtic Oxer there. And then it's straight around in front of the President's box to the Longines vertical, the final fence on that track. 300 metres in length with a time allowed of 45 seconds and a time limit of 90 seconds. And we will have 7 combinations fighting it out for the prestigious Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. First in will be Susan Fitzpatrick for Ireland with fellow Castlefield, followed by Richard Harley for Ireland and Chinook. Then we move on to the man who was a member of the British winning team here, Ben Mayer for Great Britain, a winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour in London only last weekend. Will he add the Dublin Grand Prix to that list? Former winner Lorenzo De Luca from Italy then follows with Dinky Toy v Cannonberg. World's #1 rider, Steve Gourdin from Switzerland, will be laying down the challenge to see can he win the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Then it's back to Ireland's Shane Breen, the very successful Ipswich Van de Vossacker, one that has won already on the Longines Global Champions Tour circuit. And then London Team Olympic gold medalist Scott Brash, Hello Jefferson round off a top class.
Well, the jump-off goal set by Alan Wade, 7 efforts, 300 metres. 7 in the jump-off. Let's have a look at the course. We start with what was fence number 9. We then go to a new fence, an Oxer at fence 15. Then left-handed round to fence, a new fence, fence 16. In fact, it was fence 2 in the first round, but it's now jumping the opposite way, fence 16. Then down to the last 2 parts of the combination was 10, B and C. And then the rest of the course without the final fence exactly the same. So they go from the 10, B and C, they go to fence 11, that was the 164 upright, right-handed down to fence 12, and then to 13, which was the penultimate fence in the first round, the 163 upright, and that will be the final fence in the jump-off. 300 metres, 7 competitors in the jump-off. And let's have a look first for Ireland with the 9-year-old Susan Fitzpatrick, staying with our host in Dublin, Richard Halley with Chinook, Ben Mayer with Tic Tac, Lorenzo De Luca, leading Italian rider with Dinky Toy van der Kranenberg, Steve Gourdin, world #1, Venard de Creasy, Shane Breen, Ipswich Van der Vossacker, and the last and 7th with Scott Brash, former world #1 for Great Britain with Hello Jefferson. Well, we're in for a very, very quick jump off here.
Serious money, it's serious competition, and in addition to that, all of those important Longines FEI jumping World Cup ranking points available as well. The richest ever Grand Prix to be held in Ireland, the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland jump off, coming up next year at the Stena Line Dublin Horse Show.
So we wait for the first of the 7 competitors to come in for the jump-off of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. €350,000, the prize fund for the Grand Prix, the richest jumping competition ever held in Ireland. Just 3 9-year-olds in the 40 competitors. They came forward for the first round, and one of those 9-year-olds who we'll be seeing in the main arena here at the Royal Dublin show will be Susan Fitzpatrick's fellow Castlefield. Tension mounting as we wait for the first of the competitors to come out of what is known as the pocket, just in the top of the arena there, the white doors, when they open, to allow her into this incredible arena. A lot of rain over the last 4 days. Here she comes, the doors are open, the scene is set. The jump off of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, the first of 7 competitors, the first of 3 representing our hosts here in Dublin. Susan Fitzpatrick with fellow Castlefield. Dutch bred gelding. Susan Fitzpatrick, just 20 years old. 20 years old, riding a 9-year-old. What a moment. Gold medalist for Ireland in the Pony Europeans back in 2013. Picked up a bronze a year later in the Europeans. Good turn. Now the last 2 parts of the combination. Now the rest of the course is the same from the previous round without the last fence. It's gone. Stops the clock in 33.23 with 4 faults. Well, what a tremendous moment for the 20-year-old riding Sharon Fitzpatrick's 9-year-old fellow Castlefield. Susan Fitzpatrick, fellow Castlefield, 4 faults, 33.23. First of the 7 in the jump-off here in the Grand Prix in Dublin.
So as Susan Fitzpatrick and fellow Castlefield leave the arena, we welcome in another Irish runner. We have 3 Irish runners in this jump-off.
Well, the buzz is starting to really get around here. Susan Fitzpatrick sort of just shies at the change of surface as it leaves the arena. So we stay without Ireland. She have to keep the Swiss team. Andy Kissler at the back there with Beat Manley as they wait for Steve Gerdat to come in. Now for Ireland, Richard Howley with the 12-year-old gelding Chinook. Four faults, 33.23. The target set by Susan Fitzpatrick. Good shot. So that's 4 faults. That was a very good turn. Just looking at the time was very, very similar indeed to Susan Fitzpatrick. It's 33.29, so into second place. 33.29 with 4 faults. Susan Fitzpatrick's time 33.23 with 4 faults. So Richard Howley goes into second place with Chinook for Ireland. 33.29, 4 faults. 5 to come in the jump off here at the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Ben Mayer for Great Britain with the oldest horse in the field, 16-year-old Tic Tac. Tic Tac, who jumped a double clear in the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup at Hickstead a couple of weeks ago. Ben on the winning team on Friday with another mount. very good going in, but that's leaving the door open for these later competitors. 3 of the 7 riders all with 4 faults. Times are all very, very similar indeed. It's a 1/10 of a second splitting the first 3. They've all got 4 faults, but that was 33.33 with 4 faults for Ben Maher and Tic Tac. 33.33, 4 faults, Ben Maher, Tic Tac for Great Britain. Still 4 to come, looking for our first clear, but the time's very tight indeed. 1/10 of a second splitting the first 3 on the 4 faults. We now go to the leading Italian rider in the world. Won the Grand Prix here back in 2016. A show at which he won 6 classes that year in Dublin. One of his favourite places, Lorenzo De Luca with Dinky Toy van der Kranenburg. But will he be clear? Because at the moment we're looking for our first clear in the jump off here in Dublin. He flies the last, he is clear, he's not as quick as the others, but it's a clean sheet. Into the lead for Italy goes Lorenzo De Luca, 38.17 the time he set. Lorenzo De Luca into the lead here in Dublin in the Longines International Grand Prix with Dinky Toy van der Kranenburg.
As we welcome into the arena now, world's #1 rider.
38.17. Lorenzo De Luca for Italy. Set the pace, 3 to go. Steve Gerdat, Shane Breen, Scott Brash, Switzerland, Ireland, and Great Britain. First of the 3. The world #1 for Switzerland, Steve Gerdat, Vinard Desarisi. .38.17. Look at the former Olympic champion do here in Dublin. Not just the recent, just 10 years old. 350,000 prize fund rattles the first part of what is now a double, but it's still clear. Turns in the air, very tight turn. He's just up on the clock from Lorenzo De Luca. Oh, and that's gone. It's a very quick time. Matches the time of Ben Maher, but it matches the score with 4 faults. So exactly the same time as Ben Maher with the same score of 4 faults. So equal 4th, Steve Gerdat with Vinard Desarisi for Switzerland. Steve Gerdat, equal 4th, Vinard Desarisi.
To emulate the record of Piero Genzeo's brother Raimondo Genzeo, who competed here with such success. Raimondo won the Grand Prix here twice, in 1969 and 1975. If Lorenzo wins today, he will emulate that record set by Raimondo Genzeo in this arena. So Lorenzo out the lead.
2 left to go with Italian Lorenzo De Luca.
Still in second place, 4 faults, 33.23. Ireland's Richard Howley and Chalouk currently in 3rd place, 4 faults, 33.29. That's big prize money here today. €115,500 for first, 70,000 for second, 52,500 for third. It's all becoming very tense and very exciting. Every second counts. Every pole on the ground is expensive. And we've 2 left to go in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Many thanks to Longines for their loyal...
So we just have the 2 more competitors to come. The last hope for Ireland is Shane Breen Ipswich van der Vulsaka, and then the former world #1 Scott Brash and Hello Jefferson, and the first of the two combinations now enter the arena to a huge applause here from the crowd in Dublin. Shane Breen, Ipswich van der Vulsaka, 38.17 seconds, the time set by leading Italian rider in the world, Lorenzo De Luca. We've seen that time well beaten, but we've not seen it beaten with a clear round, only with a fence down. Ireland on the edge of their seats. Bertram Allen, who you saw a quick shot of earlier, the last Irishman to win this competition back in 2014. Molly Malone, now it's Shane Breen. Can he do it? Ipswich van der Vulsaka. Already on the turn as he jumped the first fence. The time is beatable, but the fence is negotiating. That's one of the issues out of the way. Now this big upright rubs it, bounces several centimetres out of the cuts, but it stays there. Comes in very, very tight to this oxer. Will he get away with that? Yes, he will. Surely he's far up on the clock here for Lorenzo De Luca. He jumps the last. He's gone clear. It's nearly 5 seconds ahead of the time. 4 seconds ahead of the time set by Lorenzo De Luca. Shane Breen for Ireland. He gets the crowds here. Going here in Dublin. 34.91. Well, what a tremendous round. Look at the risks that Shane Breen took. He got away with it. The poles bounced, but they all stayed in the cuts, and that's what matters. 34.91, 38.17, the time set by Lorenzo De Luca. But this man, the cool man from West Sussex, he's just asking for one of the poles to be checked here. He knows that they were rubbed, just checking they're sitting properly in their cuts because it's about millimetres. Last time Great Britain took this Grand Prix trophy was 1999. 20 years ago, that was John Whittaker winning it on his second occasion. .91, Shane Breen. The current leader for Ireland. Is Scott Brash for Great Britain going to spoil the party here at the RDS? Chases down to the upright, turns in the air, skids round the corner, can't split them. Is he going to do it? He flies the last. It's going to be very close indeed. He goes into second place. Ireland take the Grand Prix. And they've realised and they've gone mad, but that was a superb try by Scott Brash for Great Britain. 35.39 into second place goes Scott Brash and Hello Jefferson, but it's all about Shane Breen and Ipswich van der Vulsaka, and that has got the crowds absolutely screaming here at the RDS. Well, what a great story. Ireland have not won the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland since 2014, where Bertram Allen won with the wonderful Molly Malone, but now Shane Breen gets his name in the record books. This competition first held back in 1934. It's in its 82nd year. There are a few years where it didn't run because of the World War. So Shane Breen in the #1 spot with Ipswich Van der Fulsucker for Ireland. Scott Brash in second place with Hello Jefferson. Lorenzo De Luca, who won it back in 2016, in third. Dinky Toy Van der Kranenburg. Susan Fitzpatrick, just 20 years old, with the fellow Castlefield, the 9-year-old. Richard Howley with Chinook in fifth. Ben Mayer for Great Britain with Tic Tac. And in 7th place, world #1, Steve Gerdat with Vinard de Sarisi. That's the culmination of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. It's Shane Breen, Ipswich Van der Fulsucker for Ireland take the spoils here in Dublin. Well, we'll be bringing you the prize giving because there'll be some serious cheering going on here in this arena as the RDS draws to a close.
For the support we receive from the Irish Defence Forces. We'll be joined today by members of the 2 Brigade Military Police Company based out of Cahulbring of Iris here in Dublin, and we're also delighted to be welcoming one of the Defence Forces' premier ceremonial bands.
Well, stay with us because we'll be bringing the prize giving here from the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland in a few moments' time.
So stay with us for the podium presentation for the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland for the award of the Irish Trophy coming up here in just a few moments' time. And of course, far from the end of the day of the Stemmerline Dublin Horse Show, is coming up the Diageo Hunt Chase as well to conclude the action here in the main arena for 2019. Well, again, we're very, very grateful to Longines for their support. Title partner and official timekeeper of the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup Series, and proud to be associated with us here at the Dublin Horse Show. Longines' passion for equestrian sports dates back to 1869, and today the brand is involved in the most important equestrian events all over the world. The official watch here in Dublin is a new model for the iconic Hydro Conquest collection, combining technical excellence and traditional elements, both distinguishing hallmarks of the brand.
Well, we come to the prize giving of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. What a moment for the crowds here at the Royal Dublin Show, but what a tremendous moment for Shane Breen. One of the biggest wins of his illustrious career. Shane Breen, Ipswich Vanderpool Sarka. In second place, former world #1 Scott Brash with Hello Jefferson. Lorenzo De Luca, who won it in 2016, he finished in third place with Dinky Toy van der Kranenburg. In fourth place, 20-year-old Susan Fitzpatrick with the 9-year-old fellow Castlefield, owned by Sharon Fitzpatrick. In fifth place, Richard Howley with Chinook for Ireland. In sixth place, and what a great weekend Great Britain have had here, Ben Mayer with Tic Tac. And in seventh place, world #1, Steve Gerdat, Vinard de Sarisi. And that's the trophy for the Longines International Grand Prix. The richest Grand Prix ever been seen in Ireland.
And bringing us in eighth place, ladies and gentlemen, the 19-year-old superstar who won the Hickstead Derby this year with HHS Burnchurch, Mikey Bender.
What a great moment for Shane Breen. Based at his home at Hickstead in Great Britain.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with our lineup,
but a great Irishman, loves his hunting.
We ask you please to rise for the national anthem of the winner of the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland.
And now,
and it is
the national anthem of our hosts here in Dublin. Huge celebrations here in Dublin as an Irish rider retains the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland, last won in 2013 by Bertram Allen and Molly Malone, as we see the Royal Dublin Society President Bernie Brennan coming out to make the presentation to fellow countryman Shane Breen. What a moment for the very likeable Shane Breen.
In third place for 2019, the 2016 winner of the Irish Trophy, riding Dinky Toy van der Kranenburg, it's Italy's Lorenzo De Luca.
Lorenzo De Luca in third place, having won in 2016, makes his way to the podium. There he is.
Hello Jefferson, our runner-up is Great Britain, Scott Brash.
Scott Brash for Great Britain. instrumental with his teammates to pick up the 100 points in the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup on Friday. But Shane Breen of Ireland, he's the #1 man here at the RDS. Shane Breen, the winner of the 2019 Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. The lads just wondering whether they should get on the podium or not.
Well,
So Scott and Lorenzo join them.
Joined by Roxanne Tierney, PR manager from Longines for the UK and
We're now making the presentation of the Longines timepiece. Roxanne Tierney, the PR manager for UK and Ireland from Longines, presents the beautiful Longines timepiece to Shane Breen for Ireland, winner of the Longines International Grand Prix here at the RDS 2019. From me, Phil Gazzala, it's goodbye from Dublin. What a tremendous week it's been. But all congratulations go to Shane Breen of Ireland. Bye-bye.
Roxanne Tierney carrying on with the presentations, including the flowers to each of our riders taking a podium position today. And a lovely shot there of our top three, Lorenzo De Luca, Scott Brash and Shane Breen, winner of the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Shane also holding aloft the beautiful Longines watch from the Conquest collection that he has earned as winner of this prestigious Grand Prix. And time now to present the prestigious government trophy presented by the Government of Ireland for the winner of the Grand Prix here at Dublin. Accompanied by a member of the 2 Brigade Military Police Company from here in Dublin, President of the Royal Dublin Society, Bernie Brody, presents this on behalf of the Government of Ireland and the Royal Dublin Society to Ireland's Shane Breen. I know you've been clapping a lot, ladies and gentlemen, but you can't believe how much this must be. Well done, Brina!
Ladies and gentlemen, what a great presentation, and we're going to have a quick word with our prize winners. Sorry, President. Shane Breen, congratulations. This is a dream come true for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I came here as a little kid when I was 8 years old, and I always dreamt of one day competing in the Grand Prix. To actually win it is the best feeling in the world. I was second 2 years ago to Lorenzo, and big thank you to the guys, especially Scott Brash going in last. I think he gave it to me.
No, he wouldn't agree with you on that particular one, but I spoke to you out in the pocket, and you said your neighbour might actually beat you.
Yeah, Scott and I were very good friends, and he only lives 10 minutes over the road from Hickstead. Yeah, so listen, we're all great mates, and yeah, I'm absolutely elated to win today. And thank you to everybody for coming out here today to watch us. We really appreciate your support.
Well done, Scott Brash. Your horse is going up all the way. You weren't just quick enough today.
Yeah, listen, he's a really inexperienced horse. I think he's a fantastic horse, especially for the future. I've not done many jump-offs on him, so I don't really know him in jump-off. But listen, me and Shane are good friends, but I wanted to beat him in the ring, you know. I didn't give it to him by any means.
Might get out of here tonight.
No. I thought I could go 8 to a double and then and still nick him, and yeah, I didn't get the one I wanted back to the second from last, so it's all fair play to Shane. He's been knocking on the door all season. He's done some fantastic rounds on Ipswich all year, so he thoroughly deserves this. Well done.
And finally, we're going to have a quick word with Lorenzo De Luca. You know what it's like to win here. Role reversal today, but you're quite happy because it's a new horse for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy. the horses the first big Grand Prix with me, and I'm glad Shane and Tom took the wheel a couple of years ago, and I'm so happy that he's standing on the big podium.
The Irish are really taking you to heart. They sort of like you, don't they?
It looks like. Thank you.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please put hands together one final time for our winner of the Longines Grand Prix, Shane Breen. We also have another special presentation to come up, and that's for the leading international rider. But we'll do that in just a moment. We'll go back to the commentary position.
Thank you, Brendan. Yes, indeed. We'll send our top three back to their horses and recognise them once again, ladies and gentlemen. Lorenzo De Luca in third, Scott Brash in second, Shane Breen, your winner. And, of course, the rest of our lineup. Susan Fitzpatrick in fourth, Richard Howley in fifth, Ben Mayer in sixth, alongside Steve Gerdak. Equal sixth with them. Give all of our prize winners your applause.
So, coming forward now, for the leading international rider of the show, what a great week he's had. From RD in County Louth, will you put your hands together for Ireland's Mark McCauley? Mark had 2 big wins this week. In terms of Bellamy and Mabello. So Mark, standing forward. And Bernie Brennan, going forward now. Make the presentation to our leading international rider, Ireland's Mark McCauley.
And let's not forget there are 2 leading rider awards of the show, the leading Irish rider and the leading international rider. And of course, by those 2 wins and 2 top 5 finishes this week, Mark McCauley takes both of those honours. And also, we're delighted to have our foreign judge, the level 4 judge from Sweden, Sven Holberg, congratulating our prize winners here as well in the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. Our welcome to him and our thanks for his service to the judging panel here this week at the Stena Line Dublin Horse Show. Well, as Mark McCauley prepares to remount his ride that takes him into the ring to be recognised as leading athlete of the show, it concludes the show jumping programme of the 2019 Stena Line Dublin Horse Show and the ceremonies attached to the Longines International Grand Prix of Ireland. But the main arena far from done, with the Diageo Hunt Chase coming up at 6 o'clock this evening. Our thanks to Roxanne Tierney, PR Manager from Longines UK and Ireland, and Bernie Brennan, the President of the Royal Dublin Society, for making our presentations here today. This afternoon, it's all about one man, and that one man from County Tipperary is Shane Breen and Ipswich Thunder Woodstocker, the winners of the Longines Grand Prix of Ireland. You're very quiet in the Anglesey stand. Come along! Yes! Scott Brash, Olympic gold medalist, Lorenzo De Luca, Dublin Grand Prix winner, just 20 years old from